Yeah.
Good morning. I'd like to open with an American spiritual called I Want Jesus to Walk With Me.
We are Williamsburg Unity Spiritual Center, and we come in here to be loved by each other. Isn't that fun? I love that. I have a quote for you. You can change your life by altering your thoughts. That's Eric Butterworth. If you haven't read Eric Butterworth, quick, go back in there and pick out a book of Eric Butterworth or download it, because he is the most marvelous unity writer. He really comes zeros right into it. It's wonderful. And there's another quote that I just love. Think what you want, but want what you think. That's a toughie. Think about all the things that we have thought about the last week, assorted chaos, and get rid of that, because you don't want to have chaos in your life. We have a whole future ahead of us that is filled with the positive thoughts that you think. So think what you want what you think. Okay, let's sing a song. What have we done?
Love unfolding.
What?
Love unfolding. My mind is open to changing the world. When it began, when change began with me. My heart embraces a world wrapped in peace. When it began, my peace began with me. I am an angel with change, and sweet of my peace I am love. I am an angel with change, and sweet of my peace I am love. Eyes in vision, the world alone with love. Let it begin, let love begin with me. Together, truth and justice. Let it begin, let justice begin with me. We are agents of change, because of peace we are one. We are agents of change, because of peace we are one. We are agents of change, because of peace we are one. We are agents of change, because of peace we are one. We are agents of change, because of peace we are one. We are agents of change, because of peace we are one.
When I first started to talk today, I said we came in here because we love each other, right? Yeah. It's a wonderful thing that's happening in this venue where we all can't stop talking. We go back and we chat away and we get to know each other, and it's wonderful. And we should have some maybe off-campus get-togethers. You know, let's have somebody for dinner or something. I'll try that. And get to know each other really well, because it's such a good group. And let's honor that in each other. Let's stand up and say, I honor the Christ in you. Christ in me, Christ, the Christ in me. The Christ in me. Christ in me. And we get to sing another song.
I'll play through the chorus and make it the same so that you can hear it first. We've done this in 21. All we can do is be there for each other in these times when we don't know what to do. All we can do is be there for each other and help each other through. With Twists and turns, unexpected, day by day moving on. I don't have all the answers, all the days when you're gone. All we can do is be there for each other in these times we don't know what to do. All we can do is be there for each other and help each other through. Crashing waves touch the shore. Time is faster every day. Ever flow, no control. All that's left to say is all we can do is be there for each other in these times we don't know what to do. All we can do is be there for each other and help each other through. And help each other through.
Okay, in the spirit of the song we just sang, let's affirm what we know about Unity Williamsburg Spiritual Center. Unity Williamsburg Spiritual Center is a radiant center of divine light and love. We are a thriving, prosperous spiritual community that honors the divine presence in all and celebrates our oneness through loving service in our community. And now let us say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Okay, let us stand and sing All You Need Is Love.
So there are verses that go with the song. So if you know the verses, please go ahead and sing. I would love that. There's nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn and play the game. It's easy. There's nothing you can make that can't be made. Nothing you can say that can't be said. Nothing you can do, but you can learn and be in the time. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. There's no one you can know that isn't known. No one you can see that isn't shown. No one you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need.
Good morning. This is a moment for prayers and celebration. Some of us will be just needing prayers, some of us are celebrating, but this is a moment to go inside and just see the love and the intentions that we all have, which are the same for everybody. Let's pause for a minute. Let's say together. At the center of ourselves, one presence and one power, we realize that our thoughts have power to heal and bless. We send them out now, carrying love, peace, joy, and love. The situations and celebrations that we hold in our hearts. Thought by thought and prayer by prayer, we transform the world.
Okay, now for daily word. The daily word affirmation is freedom. I'll say it once, then please repeat with me. The Christ within is my source of freedom. Please repeat. The Christ within is my source of freedom. Freedom is my spiritual birthright. I live my freedom when I speak my mind, pursue my dreams, and live with dignity and self-respect. It means I am self-directed, and I use my spiritual gifts of understanding, faith, love, and strength to guide my decisions and actions. As I do, I feel free. I do what I can to support freedom for myself and others. I honor and give thanks for those whose courage and dedication in service have helped build and sustain a world where all people can know true freedom. In prayer, I envision a harmonious human community that assures everyone's basic needs are met, respecting different viewpoints, and celebrates the unique expression of God that each person is. As servants of God, live as free people, yet do not use your freedom as a pretext for evil. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 16. And today it's my pleasure to welcome Joshua Inacio back to Unity Williamsburg Spiritual Center. Joshua is a gifted spiritual teacher, channel, and vibrational sound healer who devotes his life to being an instrument for God's love and will. He blends over 20 years of metaphysical experience with his dedication to spirit and humanity. Joshua has presented and spoken at more than 30 Unity churches nationwide, and many times with us. He has also spent extensive time at Unity Village, where he supports various initiatives, including ministers' conventions, the Unity Prayer Chaplain Program, and World Day of Prayer. It is his heart's desire to give people the opportunity to have a direct experience with the Spirit. Please welcome Joshua.
I don't know that we can welcome back someone that didn't leave. But thank you. There are very few people I know that if they ask me to do something, I'm not going to say no. Amy is one of those people. And she reached out to me about 4 or so. Good morning, by the way. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Good morning, my name is Joshua. I looked like that 60 years ago. And whoever's doing the slides, could you show up, it was the second song that Paulette played for us. Yes, I'd like those words up there, please. Much as I'd like that. There we go. By the way, please, can you put your hands together for Paulette? So when Amy reached out to me and said, well, because I'm one of the group of people that's volunteering to step forward to be the spiritual leader for this church, and she said, well, there's some people that still need to hear you. They'll need to hear what you have to say. Will you speak on this day, which is the 10th of November, which originally actually Lewis was going to be speaking today. And I said literally these words to him about 2 months ago. I said, dude, you would have to be clinically insane to want to get up in front of people the Sunday after a general election. So, behold, clinical insanity. I don't know if any of the people that are stepping forward or stepping up for this position, I don't know if anyone of them have actually shared why. Okay? And I feel I can speak for all of us. I don't know who they are, but I feel I can. And say we're coming from the same place. We love this community. We're grateful to be a part of it. We want to give what we can give. It's really that simple. There's an expression, spirit doesn't care who flies, as long as there is flying. The point is, you're all getting ice cream. It's just depends what flavor you like. There is a flame here. It's turning into a fire. That's going to happen anyway, right? For myself, the other day, Susan says to me, so you sure you want to do this? Well, let's see. She says, so you'd start off the service so, I could die. That's what she said. That's what she said. Do you remember saying that? Okay, because I was like, that escalated quickly. Okay. Let's just give this a minute. Okay, see, it was funny. Anyway, and she asked me after that, what's my vision? And it's not simple as that. It's just something I'm seeing. And 90% of that I can do as a congregate. You make proposals to the board, you see what consensus is, right? When I think about what's most important here in terms of fellowship, connecting together, and the depth that's already in the room, because I know there's twice as many people coming, right? Within 18 months, I promise you. That's going to happen anyway. And most of it I can do as a congregate. The other 10%, you read so beautifully the daily word just now about freedom, okay? So there's a quote by Carl Jung. He said, where can freedom exist, save or within a heart that has learned to transcend that contraction of fear? I'll say it again. Where can freedom exist, except from within a heart that has learned to transcend that contraction of fear? So the 10% I would be looking at is how we individually, I don't like the word we, right? It's the most spiritual cop-out word I've ever heard in my life. I, you. That's the we we're talking about. Leading us through anything that can help us stop contracting. What happens with contraction? We judge, we condemn, we blame. Okay? That's not growth. The only thing about that is working through the opposite of contraction of the heart really, really sucks. And it's one thing to be chosen to do something, that's a popularity contest. To actually follow through and do that is not a popularity contest. It's not going to be enjoyable. But for the celebration of your spirit long term, yeah, it's going to happen anyway. And I am willing to do that. Not today. I would also be interested in honouring the different spiritual traditions that some of us come from. I have stood in enough churches and witnessed book groups for Course in Miracles. That's not what I would go for. I'd be more inclined for something like Braden Sweetgrass. I'm being more interested in supporting community between us all, the relationship with the land and growing community and our further concentric experiences. That's where I'm at. Yes.
Could you hold the mic away from your mouth a little bit? It's
Like here.
It's hard to hear. We can't hear you because
Like here.
Yes.
Can you turn me up a bit, please, at the back there?
It's hold it away from your mouth.
Well, here.
Yes. Thank
Too
you.
much percussion. There's no, you can't have too much percussion.
No,
Clinical insanity. Okay. There's no job to do tomorrow which supersedes the one to do today. It's been a long week. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. When I was young, the first books I really enjoyed reading were Aesop's Fables. There's a story I'm going to begin with. So there's a mother. She goes to visit her grown daughters, both of whom are married. She goes to the first one. She's married to a man. They run a vineyard together. She says, "Oh, daughter, how are you? How are you? Tell me how is business." The daughter says, "Oh, mother, it hasn't rained for weeks. If it doesn't rain soon, we will surely be ruined." The mother says, "I understand. I will pray for you." And she leaves, and she goes to her next daughter, who with her husband runs a pottery. And make pottery. And she says, "Daughter, tell me, how are you? How is business?" And her daughter says, "Oh, mother, it's never been better. With all of this dry weather, we will surely be wealthy, unless it rains soon, in which case we will surely be ruined." And her mother says, "I understand. I will pray for you." She goes home to her husband. Her husband says, "Oh, welcome home, my love. Tell me, how are my daughters?" And she sits down. "Well, I'm going to pray for them both. But whatever I do, one of them will be ruined." A couple of weeks ago, I voted for the very first time as a citizen of this country. Woohoo! Someone called me later that day and said, "How does it feel? Do you feel powerful?" Maybe this is a couple of weeks ago. I said, no, because it's already failed. It's already failed because when you've got two completely opposing groups, and one of them is going to be despondent and outraged, it's failed. I don't feel powerful. I feel sad. Okay? By the way, there is a title to this talk, but I'm not going to tell you until the end. Let me give you an analogy. I have very unpleasant feet. I hope none of you ever have to see them. It already worries me because one day I will be married. And there's someone walking around out there right now and I'm going to have to show her my feet. And she'll be like, "Joshua, we've been married 37 years. Show me your feet." Joe. And the other one. The point is, it is true that I have unpleasant feet. Trust me. However, my body is not complete without those feet. I wouldn't be me without my feet. Couldn't get around and do the things I like to do without my feet. To say that there is a group out there, however small or big, and pretend they have nothing to do with ourselves, is to deny the whole. It's to deny the self. It doesn't work. And if I can say there is a failure of representation, okay, for right now, but a little bit of timing there. I do believe in expansion and contraction of the universe as all things happen. I do absolutely believe in diversity of representation, and that is what we are going towards. May not quite look like it right now. I have to read the room, okay? I can imagine most of the people in this room voted the same way. I'm not going to take a leaning that would be unprofessional, right? But I do have to read the room as to take us in the direction I want to take us to. Had Tuesday's outcome been different, I would have a different job to do right now. It would be the job I would have to do with a different result would be a much easier human lesson and a much, much harder spiritual lesson. The job I actually have to do is a much harder human lesson and a much easier spiritual lesson. Okay? A few weeks ago, Ingrid and Duncan spoke. They did the Flip Church. I love that. And several of you got up and spoke as well. One of you, I think it was Johan, spoke about turn the other cheek. Was that you? Yes, lovely. I want to go there for a minute. Matthew 5:38, if anyone's interested, right? The essence of turn the other cheek is when someone comes at you with negativity or an attitude or something that is not supportive or loving, you are able to absorb, transmute, and reflect a greater degree of love back to them, and so they sit in that. And that is a change in behavior. You have not done anything. That's the essence of turn the other cheek. If you are struck, turn the other cheek to be struck again, right? And that is a greater reflection of love, which changes things. I almost fully agree with this. To turn the other cheek would work in this room, or when we speak later on. You know, we have moods, we go up, we go down. It would work here. Everywhere else, I don't know about that. If we're talking about turning the other cheek, you need to think, bless you, you need to think about how hard is someone going to hit you. And is your degree and depth and ability to show and hold love in that moment big enough? And it might be, and it might not. And if it's not, then you need to turn the other cheek and walk away or separate. And that is the greatest expression of love you can do. And I'm going to ask you not to turn one of these cheeks. Clinical and insanity and talking about his backside. It's been a good Sunday already. And so, it's a harder human lesson today. I'm not expecting you all to show the very greatest depth of love that you can. I don't think that's fair. And I am interested in fairness. Let me be really clear. I've got all the faith in God to possibly have. The steps in between absolute physicality and absolute intangibility, they've got to line up as well. We have to be kind to ourselves and, dare I say, realistic as well to make the ends meet. I had some online groups this week, and something interesting happened for about 48 hours after Wednesday morning. I would close my eyes and I would see the future president of this country just looking at me, wearing a hat and everything, just looking at me, completely stone-faced. And after about the third time, I said, okay. I said, what do you want? Nothing. I said, okay. Thought I would say something. So I said to him, you know, a lot of people are very happy right now. I said to him, they're getting what they want. I said to him, a lot of people are very unhappy. A lot of people are very scared. very scared right now. I said to him, I don't hate you, but I didn't choose you. He looks at me and he says 3 words, I am you. And it was that cadence, how he talks, I am you. Yes. I wish to be professional right now. There's quite a lot I could say in reply to that. But there was no argument. I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that because that is the only door where there is freedom for me. Otherwise, I am in blame. I am in outrage. I am not myself. I'm lost. But for all that I could be up in arms about in the world, all of it, my friends, converges here. That's where it's happening. That's where I have a say. That's where I have some control. I've been reading some beautiful posts people have made this week. And they're saying, we have to pray what we have to do. And I have to argue with that. No, we is avoidance. You do. I do. I don't want you to leave here with this notion of we in that respect. I want you to leave here. Say, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I am going to do. It's what I am going to do. So what can you and I do? Okay. Well, it all really comes down to unifying and connecting. I've been thinking a lot about this week. And so this is, first of all, this notion of curiosity, right? To be curious. There's a group out there that would call me the devil, right? And they would. Well, okay, I need to think about this. So I'm really quite sure there is one sentiment running through everyone right now. I don't just mean in this room, I mean everyone. If I look at issues of gender identity, if I actually look at issues of body choice, I hear the same thing, which is, don't tell me what to think. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to be. This is the call coming from everyone. Now mine might be very different to someone else's. But I feel as a citizen of this country, I need to know what half of this country who shows other than me are feeling and thinking. Because separating myself from that, it's not moving things forward. I think about vulnerability. And I need to be clear about what I mean by this. I'm not being vulnerable in this moment. I've been vulnerable for a couple of days. I kind of know where I stand and who I am in this moment. I'm ready to take responsibility and accountability for it. I'm not being vulnerable right now. I needed to be vulnerable for a couple of days because fear is a trap. And I didn't realize how trapped I was. I was actually very afraid to come and speak today. And I needed to sit and think about why and what the consequence of that was. And I'm okay with the consequences of it now, actually. But what I would ask each of you to do in your own way, in your own time, how you do it, but it's simply to feel your feelings. That's a slightly overused sentiment. Feel your feelings. That means something different for each of us, right? And for each one of you, it will mean something different on a different day or a different time of the day. What else can you and I do, okay? This is a time when we're really called to find our true expression and say what we want to say. Some people are saying it quiet and some people are saying it loud. But I'll say this. There's an expression, honesty without tact is cruelty. Tact without honesty is manipulation. I don't think anyone in this room would see themselves as cruel or manipulative. I'm just saying, there is an art and a skill to how we share and present ourselves in a caring yet assertive way. We had a PTA for Sophia, my daughter, the other day. She's doing sailing, she's doing great at it. The teacher said, Sophia was on the boat, and out of her mouth comes the words, rock the boat. I'm hearing this, and I'm like, these are the words of the younger generation. And then the teacher explained what she meant, because there wasn't enough kinetic energy to move the boat itself, and so she had to create it herself. If you're seeing where I'm going with this. If there's not a voice, if there's not a representation for who you are or what you believe you need, then you need to make the vibration yourself. Because who's going to do it for you? Now, others might do it for you, but you can still add to that. Susan was saying about inviting each other around for dinner, creating community, belonging, creativity. Yes, I absolutely believe it. You know, there are people that feel that all is lost. Okay? I don't personally feel that, but I get that some people do. If you do, then I'm going to invite you to believe in miracles. You know why? Because about 4 and a bit years ago, when I was 1,200 miles away, in touch with Lewis and Rhonda. One of them was talking about Unity Williamsburg, which there was way less people at the time. And I'm hearing about churches around the country closing left, right, and centre. Of the 30 plus churches I visited, there's about 14 left. And so if you don't think it's a miracle that this is around you right now, I'm telling you it is, I'm telling you it happened. And if I just dovetail back to my previous subject, that's going to happen regardless of who is standing here and what they're saying. This is the miracle. This is the special thing. This is the fire. I invite you all to warm yourselves on it. Okay? And then we think about, well, who are we really? Now, last time I came here to give sessions, I got off King 64, driving down there, just about to turn on Oak Drive, right? And there was cars and slowed down. And I'm thinking, this is an odd place for gridlock. Not that there aren't more interesting places in Williamsburg than this, but I wasn't expecting it there. Like, what's going on? I was craning my head out the window, and I see a line of geese walking across the road. And 5 cars slow down here, 5 there. Just wait for these geese to cross the road. And I'm thinking, wow. And then we crossed, and the car started moving. I was just looking, I'm reading the bumper stickers. Let's go, Brandon. You know what that means? And I'm thinking, gosh, you got the 10 of us in a room. I don't think we'd all get on very well. But we can all have compassion for geese. That's who we are. Anyone and everyone can agree on that. There wasn't anyone honking, and I'm not talking about the geese. No one was in a rush. Everyone got it. That's who we are. That's who we are. A little while later, different day, I realized I needed to go to the post office. Needed to mail a letter to the IRS. Now, I've been by myself for a couple of days actually. I kind of felt like being around people. So I thought, I want to get in line. I got in line, post office on Denby here. Quite a long line. So long that people start talking to each other. The lady at the front, she said, I've been retired for 15 years. Wow. Retired for 15 years, entertaining us all. Lady in front of me looks down at my one letter and says, she goes, I wish I had a stamp to give you. I said, just feel like being around people. And we started chatting. I said, I just moved here. She's European like I am. And she's holding the box. She's holding the box very carefully. The line's still moving, moves a bit. She goes, oh, wish I could give you a place in line. She actually gets to the front of the line. She goes, I wish I could give you a place in line, but I need to send this to my son. And then she starts crying. She says, my son's in a mental institution. He's in a mental institution because he killed his father, my husband. And she starts crying. And then time stopped. And in that span of half a second, the actual subtext of the conversation happens. Silently, without time. And she's saying, I carry this burden all the time. No one wants to hear about it. Everyone's tired of hearing about it. I'm ashamed. It's such a heavy burden, but I felt I could just put it down for a minute. Then I replied, without speaking, I don't have words to say. I wish I could help you, but I can't. I don't know what you must be going through every single day of your life. But to be here and hold space with you right now is all in the best I can do. I honour your life and everything with it. The clerk suddenly becomes available. She collects herself, goes, does it, gives him the box, gets sent. She walks back, we nod at each other, and that's that. And we'll never see each other again. That, my friends, is who we really are. Underneath all of it, from the best of us to the worst of us, that's who we are. I promise you and I guarantee you. We chose to be here now. Most of what I've said today, it's probably going to need to be reiterated in a different way, in different forms, as the next year of our lives goes by. And yet we are here doing what we're supposed to be doing. Prior to this life, when we chose this, no one said it was going to be easy. But it was definitely going to be worthwhile. I will tell you, the ancestors are proud of us. They're proud of you. I don't know if you can hear this from me. Perhaps you can hear it from others, though. Perhaps you can hear it from Chief Joseph, Sitting Bull. Perhaps you can hear it from Yogananda or Yukteswar. Perhaps you can hear it from Saint Germain or Saint Francis. Perhaps you can hear it from Walter Leaf. Perhaps you can hear it from Reverend Jan. And I'll speak on behalf of them all, if I may be so bold, and say, my friends, my family, my brothers, my sisters, my family, I see you. I am so grateful for you. And I know that you do the best. And your best is better than you probably can possibly understand. The title of this talk is Find the Others. Who are the others? Find the others. I was lost for a couple of days. Find me. The people that are hurting, find them. Help them see themselves. The others in this room, find each other. Get to know each other, have dinner with each other. The people that would hate us, find them. It doesn't matter who you voted for. what are you voting for now? Are you voting for understanding? Are you voting for clarity? Are you voting to know each other? And unity in the very depth of the word. It's a rhetorical question because I know that you are. So thank you for hearing me. I want to take us into meditation now. Do I get music? Yeah, I do. Very good. How I think? Yeah. We totally practice that. Take a breath, close your eyes, please. Relax your stomach. This won't take long. Relax your jaw. I shan't tell you to keep your thoughts quiet. There's nothing wrong with your thoughts. I would ask you to listen to the silence in between my words. I would ask you to feel your body rise and fall with the breaths that you're taking without thinking. I would remind you of the flow of spirit, of the flow of energy, of the flow of love that moves around and through all of that. And simply ask you to breathe. Let's just take some deeper breaths now. Gentle breaths, breathing for those who do not have the presence of mind to breathe fully right now. Breathing from the chest. Grateful for the choice to be in community, grateful for the community that surrounds you. Breathing. We listen to the silence, because all that we require comes through and from that. And for every challenge in the world, there is solution. For every pain, there is relief. For every question, there is an answer. Feel your feet on the ground, please. May we all take a deep, unified breath together. Let's open our eyes. With all that is going on this week, let it not be forgotten that tomorrow is Veterans Day. And you're going to play for us.
Yes, tomorrow is Veterans Day, most of you probably know. So I thought I'd play a tribute to the armed forces. And if you feel the need to stand for yourself or a loved one in one of the armed forces, then please do. The first is the Coast Guard.
still on?
Yes, it's on.
Yes, okay. So, believe me, I'm tired of the sound of my own voice right now. But I felt called this morning, we're going to do the offertory. And I want to say something about this. This idea of, well, now you have to tithe, or now you don't tithe to church. What's going on with, what's actually happening? Why have you come? What are you giving for? Please understand that 6 or 7 people have given a number of hours of their week for this experience so that you come here, you unload, and you leave lighter. That's how it works, right? And so don't change what you're going to give by a penny either way because of what I'm saying. I'm just looking for you to have your connection with it. To understand, yes, I come here, this is what I give, and this is why. All right?
Absolutely. Okay. So now it's time to get your offering out. Hold it in your hands or over your heart. Feel the energy of prosperity flowing through you to Unity Williamsburg Spiritual Center and out into the community. Together, let's say the prayer of plenty. In the infinity of this moment, all is perfect, whole, and complete. We acknowledge the one presence, the one power, expressing through us and Unity Williamsburg Spiritual Center every moment of every day. We open our hearts to the wisdom and intelligence that exists in the universe and in our minds, through which all resources and all healing comes. All doubt is released as we trust that our needs are being met in this moment. Divine order is unfolding for our highest good now. And so it is. Take this moment to put your offering in the basket there at the center with the candles glowing.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed.
Now the blessing of the offering. Sweet Spirit, we are grateful for all that is shared with Unity Williamsburg Spiritual Center, helping us to be able to meet here for services and events that we also share with our community and beyond. Amen.
Announcements for today. Next Sunday, Kanda Lambert will be our guest speaker. Kanda has been a member of and involved with Unity for 22 years. She is a successful songwriter, singer, musician, and former music director. With beautiful visuals woven into her events, she guides audiences on a multi-sensory, sacred musical journey. Kanda's desire is to help people receive divine guidance with the assurance of God's love and to achieve healing, spiritually, mentally, and physically. Be sure to join us next Sunday to hear her latest message. This Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m., Ingrid and Duncan Hamra will lead Hope, Imagination, and Remaking the World. The group is a beta testing of a new curriculum created by On Being, the popular spiritual podcast. I will be the first and we are among the first to try it out. The aim of the course is to build muscular hope. All the details can be found on the flyer, on the podium, and back on the bulletin board. This Wednesday, Jamie Fitzwater will lead the weekly gentle yoga class here in the sanctuary from 7 to 8 p.m. Again, there are flyers at the podium and I think on the bulletin board. This Saturday, Daryl Key will lead the weekly meditation class from 1 to 2. Again, flyers are available. Next Sunday, there will be a board meeting after the fellowship. All who are interested in the business of Unity Williamsburg Spiritual Center are welcome to come back and join us at the fellowship hall. We're collecting donations during this month of November for FISH. FISH is a volunteer-operated nonprofit organization that provides food, clothing, small housewares to persons who need in our local area. Please see the list of requested items on the bulletin board in the fellowship. Your generosity is greatly appreciated. Joshua is offering private healing and intuitive reading sessions here at Unity Williamsburg Spiritual Center on Tuesday, November 26th. Again, flyers and bulletin board. Please attend. Now, from the congregation, any announcements, any special occasions? Amy can start.
Sure, so I have a couple of announcements. Last week, hello. Is it turned on, Crystal? Hello? Oh, that's better, okay. So last week, our speaker, Carol Ann Steinberg, after she spoke, decided to put her name in for consideration for the part-time spiritual leader position. So in this week's newsletter, we'll have a link for her bio as well as a clip of her talk from last week, just in case you weren't able to see that. There's also a link in the newsletter for the feedback forms that you can submit online, and we have printed feedback forms that are up here on the prayer box table if you would like or prefer to fill those out on paper. But we'll be collecting that feedback up until the board meeting on next Sunday. And then in the vein of creating and celebrating community, we're going to have on Saturday, November 23rd, beginning at 10 a.m., a Unity Williamsburg Fall Cleanup Day. And this is going to be a day where we'll invite everyone who wants to attend or wants to just spend some time outdoors having some fun and community time. We're going to invite you to bring your rakes, your gloves, leaf blowers, hedge clippers, all of the everything that you would like to bring to make merry outside. We're going to collect up leaves, trim the hedges, and just basically clean up outside. And maybe clean up the flower beds and the also the meditation area that's over on the side. So Unity is going to provide the drinks and snacks and a pizza lunch afterwards. So anyone who wants to attend, please feel free to join us. And we'll likely do this in the spring as well. So if you have things already planned for that day, such as marrying off your daughter, then we'll catch you again in the spring. And then also along those lines, if there's anyone who might be interested as we enter the holidays, getting together for crafting, whether it's things that you're working on, crafts you want to learn, share, or whatever, maybe an afternoon or a couple of afternoons in the fellowship hall, let me know, because we kind of want to just have fun, as Susan was saying, spending time together. It doesn't have to be a service or some kind of special event, but just kind of getting together and sharing some fellowship. So if you're interested in that, just let me know.
Thank you. Anyone else? Other occasions, special celebrations? All right, then let's go on. The prayer chaplain today is Susan Cardoso. She will be in the back of the sanctuary offering private prayer. Prayer boxes are available on the left side table and in the sanctuary. Please place your prayers in the request box. They will be picked up by our chaplains and prayer will begin immediately. As always, all prayer requests are held in strict confidentiality. If you have a prayer request during the week, please email your request to our prayer chaplains at prayerunitywilliamsburg@gmail.com. We love to stay in touch. Go to our website, unitywilliamsburg.com, fill out the information, and we will be in touch with you again. Again, if you want to stay in touch, unitywilliamsburg.com. Thank you. Let's join together in the circle. Invite Joshua to stand in the middle.
Yes, Joshua, let's bless you.
We bless you. We appreciate you. We behold Christ in you. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Think positive.